and welcome to Sports for Dummies. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're here with Harding Bison defensive end,
Jay Marshall.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to tell us about sports that we know nothing about.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now tell me, Jay, what is football? You can tell me the actual dictionary definition, and
or your
then
definition.
Tell me, what is football to you?
Football to me is a very aggressive game, honestly. My body doesn't like it. My grandma hates it, but I love it. So football, there are 22 men on the field, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and the defensive guys are trying to stop the offensive guys from scoring. And to score, you have to cross the goal line. They're 100 yards apart. And then after you score, you can either take an extra point or you can go for two based on the situation and what you want to do. So that's basically football to me.
Okay, so with the scoring, what does that look like? So how many points is each thing?
So when you score a touchdown, that counts as 6 points.
Okay.
And then you can either kick an extra point, which is 1 point, or go for two, which is 2 points. And you can do that based on if you're losing, if you're winning, what you want to do, your team strategy, or just what the other team gives you.
Okay, so what's the difference between a touchdown and like a field goal?
So a touchdown is when you have the football, where they can be a pass or a run, and you cross the goal line. That's 6 points. Or a field goal is when it's fourth down. You get 4 downs in football, in case you didn't know, Caroline.
Appreciate it.
And so if you don't get past the first down, which is 10 yards, in case you didn't know that either.
Thank you.
You can kick a field goal no matter where you are on the field, and that's 3 points.
So how far is like an average field goal?
Tough to say. Usually teams will kick a field goal no further than 45, 50 yards, depending on their kicker and if they can make that.
All right, so you said you're a defensive end. What in the world even is that? Because you could tell me any position in football. I think I know what the quarterback does. He throws the ball. All right. What is it that you do?
So I'm on the D-line, and I'm one of the faster guys on the D-line.
What does the D-line mean?
The D-line, so there's offensive line. Those are the bigger guys that block for the quarterback and the running back and all that stuff. And the D-line are the guys that go against the O-line, offensive line. And our job is to prevent the offense from scoring. So when they want to run the ball, we're supposed to stop the offensive lineman from blocking us so we can get to the running back, quarterback, whoever has the ball. And so my job is to first stop the run, which means beating my guy across from me, whether that be a offensive tackle, which is the guy on the end of the offensive line, or a tight end. And so that's my first job. My second job is to get to the quarterback, your favorite position, Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
So to do that, I have to make sure it's not a run first, and then if it is a pass, I have to get past my guy using a variety of moves that we practice.
So how can you tell if it's a run or a throw or a pass?
Well, usually when it's a run, the offensive lineman will come at you, and then when it's a pass, they'll kick back to kind of give them more time to react to what I do next.
That makes sense.
So when did you start playing football? And when did you kind of decide, okay, I want to play collegiate football?
I started playing football when I was 6 years old, and honestly, I really didn't want to. My dad really wanted me to. Pretty much every male in my family has played football. My dad did, granddad, great-grandpa. So it's kind of just been a Marshall thing. I really didn't want to, but I knew that made him happy, so I decided to do it. And I really didn't want to play collegiate until probably my sophomore, junior year, when I realized that, hey, I might be good enough to go play collegiate, and not very many people have that opportunity and that blessing to go play in college.
Wow.
Okay, so you said that there's how many, 22 on the field?
22.
Okay, how do you know what you're doing? Who tells you what?
So usually in practice, the coach will go over the game plan for the week. It's different every week based on our opponent and who we're playing, what they want to do. And so we'll go over that in practice. And then in the game, the linebackers are the one that tells the defensive lineman what to do. So in the game, we'll look over to the sideline, and our coach will give us a signal. And based off that signal, they'll tell us what to do for that play. And the linebackers will tell us which way do we go on certain plays.
So, like, I know football teams have, like, captains, like team captains. Do you guys have a team captain? And if so, like, who is it? And, like, what does he do?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we have a couple of team captains. Preston Payton, Michael Cindric, Mason Hutto, Dylan Hendricks, and Corey Beatty.
We know Michael. Good pal.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Good guy. So what do they do specifically?
So the captains are the ones that kind of run the team, so to speak. We usually like to have the players run the team instead of the coaches. So whenever we have meetings, sometimes it's player-led, so the coaches don't have to worry about it. And so on Fridays, we have meetings. We don't have practice before the game. And we'll have a captain's meeting. And so after Coach Simmons does his little spiel and he talks about the team and the kind of game plan for Saturday, he'll say, all right, captain's meetings. And all the captains will go up to the front of the room and they'll just say whatever they want to say about the team and, like, expectations for the game and all that stuff. And they're also the ones that pick the uniforms that we wear.
So what is your favorite part about football?
I would say the team part, just knowing with all the conditioning we do, all the hard practices, the workouts that we do, I find unity in that, knowing that the guy next to me and the guy behind me did the same thing I did, went through all the running, conditioning, hot days, the long days, film study, all that stuff. So it's a unity for me.
So this season, the Harding Bisons have been doing really great. I know that much.
Yeah.
I'm at a lot of the games, all of the home games, and I know that you guys have been winning, which is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
And playoffs are coming up. Big deal, because you guys were JSC champions, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you feel about, the playoffs and your hosting? Like, we're hosting here at Harding.
That's huge for us. This is the second time in Harding football history that we host a home playoff game. I think the first time was in 2016, and that was just huge for us, having the home fans there, not having to travel, just going on our field and playing. And it's really a blessing because if you look at it, only, I think, 28 teams make the playoffs out of 170 in D2 football. And I think we've made it the past 5 years in a row. So that's a huge blessing for us. And then to have one at home, it's an even bigger blessing because we don't have to worry about traveling and acclimating to someone else's field and all that stuff.
Okay, can you explain a little what the difference between, like, a playoff game is and a regular home season game is?
Yeah, so a regular season game, it's usually in conference. You're playing teams that you play every year, and you kind of know their schemes and, like, what they want to do and what plays they run. And the games really aren't as high stakes as they are in playoffs because you can lose and it's like, oh, okay, well, we can play next week. But playoffs, we're all going for a national championship, so everyone's playing their hardest. And if you lose, then your season's over. So we got to win.
Makes sense. Caroline,
High stakes.
do you understand football now?
Better, for sure. I appreciate you taking the time to explain it.
Of course.
All right, that's about all we have. I'm Caroline. I'm here with
Jay Marshall.
defensive end. Yes?
Number
Yes.
16, yes.
Number
Number
16.
16. Thanks, Jay, for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's all we have, folks. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.